Perfect. Oh my gosh, there was not all that preamble, guys. We just get to go right into it. Hi, how are you doing? Welcome to Into the Universe, Lost Requiem, and our little doomed and determined show, which will probably stay named Into the Universe after talks. But we are starting a new book tonight, a new arc, level 13. Guys, it took me a while to really land on what we were going to do. This is going to be a good one. This is going to be a fun one.
This is going to be a really easy, fun, no stress.
Yeah.
Really
Some of this
chill.
even tied to my family history.
No body horror.
Because, this is the sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows arc.
That would be probably the one I'd be most worried about. Showed up in Candyland and horror campaign.
Talani had a constructive confrontation with her family, so she's feeling.
Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
This is Candyland for her.
This month's horror arc is real life.
I would never do that.
It's
to you
January
guys.
2025.
Guys, I can't handle this. I need to leave immediately.
So, Mia, how much did you spend on gas this week?
Before we get into that, as
Into
a
the
brief-
universe tax season.
So, in terms of when last we met, the party thought it was probably I think Sirmia said, and I'm going to paraphrasing here, this is probably the most chaotic night of our lives.
The most chaotic night of our lives so far.
So far. Most chaotic night of our lives so far. But it was, you guys dealt with some shit. A literal kaiju attack, a demon siege, demon/angel siege,
Two fights with Lismus.
sibling scuffle, sibling fratricide, kind of, sort of, devils and angels work differently than we do. But his mortal form in this realm died, to say the least. You guys all barely escaped death in one form or another, be it through resurrection or a magic item keeping your rib cage intact, or a god giving your healer so much damage that your rib cage grows back. It was an intense night for all. Rivalries were squashed. Family bridges were given a chance to begin the mend.
I got
And
married.
Some were burned. No.
Braddock got married.
Surviving
That's
all
arcane.
the same day. Surviving an arcane explosion.
You guys survived an arcane explosion.
Yeah, got married, went to the wrestling show, all this shit
I
went
thought the
down.
gala was a different day.
It's the next day.
It was
but it's
the
still
next
like
day.
it was
Yeah.
still within
crazy
24 hours.
The wrestling-
hours.
The match
Craziest
and the
24
wedding were
hours
the
of my
same.
life, man.
I'm glad we get a month break after that.
Yeah.
I think we needed that.
Yep, you guys.
Time to
And
emotionally
so
recover.
I kind of messaged you all individually for how your months kind of went. Some of you were more vague, but I feel it brought more of a succinct period to maybe things that your character was interested in and they've been looking for to maybe help them move forward in the journey. See what?
I didn't text you. I forgot.
It's totally okay, because what we're gonna do is instead of me jibba-jabbing, you guys are gonna get to say what you all did during your month off. Some of you specifically responded back to me, some of you didn't. Don't worry, you're not the only one. And so the whole point is that, I just assumed you guys were like, okay, cool, it's just something for you to chew on.
You sent me
just
specific
to think,
messages. So
Yeah, I just had some specific stuff, and because he had an NPC with him, so he got a little bit.
It was cool because TJ said that I leveled up in ours. Everybody
he said I went to level 20.
Joke's on you, I'm at level 25.
I'm
Yeah.
level 15 now.
Wow, 2 whole levels.
He de-leveled me. I'm down to 10 now.
So
He did that so he could give levels to it.
So what we will go around with is kind of what we were doing for our month. We'll start over here, and we'll go this way. We'll end on you guys. And then you can even just paraphrase. You can change if you sent me anything. I'm not like, oh, you sent me this. It's like, as long as it's not like, I found Sariel and killed her. Like, obviously, I'm going to, maybe. You drew that in a notebook.
Yeah.
But, everyone.
According to this flip book that I have.
Yeah, according to my notes.
Reaper Sane, let's just say we don't have to worry about that guy anymore.
Some of you guys picked some stuff up, some of you guys didn't. Some of you made friends and bonds and whatnot, and so we'll go through that, and then I'll have some little during month of NPC stuff that you will not find out in the adventure. But let's start with you, Sermia. What did Sermia do during her month off?
It'll be easier for me to read what I wrote. So, Sermia went to the Sampan Isles with Maltea, consisting of much eating out at fine dining restaurants. There, she had a family therapy. It wasn't like facilitated by a therapist or anything, but they like got together and had a little chat.
I feel like I'm
Communication.
Excited to each other.
They decided that everyone chose to forgive and forget, but Sermia's contingency was that she likes her new life and won't ascend the throne in order to pursue her own endeavors. Sermia said she would help with the disaster after her break, along with the whatchamacallits. Her dad will attend to matters at home with her mom, and her brother and sister are also going to help with disaster relief, and then they're going to go on their own campaign to look for a cure for vampirism because Sermia's brother and mom are still vampires. Sermia and Maltea bounce around ideas on what to do with the Malwa situation because he seems like he's still following us, and also the Ilbrooks.
Ribbit, baby.
The Ilbrook power dynamic in Aluba specifically, seeing it. They were specifically bouncing around ideas on how they could gain an advantage using the disaster as like all the chaos of the disaster to possibly gain an advantage against Ursul, because she is probably one of the more powerful enemies in the Lubra. Don't want to fuck with her alone. Anybody who does intelligence-based saves is gonna be very...
You don't like Feeble Mind?
Well, yeah. You can just expect it to be probably the roughest fight.
Yeah, Mort does have a spell that I've used with her before called Iron Mind that basically would help a lot against her.
Sermia uses her
More
free
sexually.
time on deforestation, honing her magic, focusing
Deforestation.
focusing mostly on familiarizing herself with her artifact and a beach episode. She sold a lot of stuff in her
She's
pack and
Subtropical.
disseminated stuff to specific party members that she thought would be most useful. And she also bought some, and she changed her armor to look more like her family's colors, like silver and gold. But it's still her mithril armor. They just like gilded it and
Emblazoned it with...
and insignia and such. So when she shows back up, she looks very relaxed and refreshed.
Enough to strike fear in the hearts of any raged undead.
Or
Yeah,
trees.
So
Trans,
many
stay away.
trees.
Cassidy, what did you do?
Cassidy and his mother, after everything that went down, just decided to go back to New Amberwood to just take a rest. Both the residents of New Amberwood has started doing reconstruction of both New and Old Amberwood, and so during that month, Cassidy did what he could to help with the reconstruction, and especially because of his mechanized boon ability, where he could just repair any physical structure or regrow lost limbs. I mean, that was definitely a big help. And during that month, at least locally, the business for his shop was booming because every more and more people wanted to purchase stuff from his inventory. He did get one magical item merchant that came through, but unfortunately, because of what happened, like a lot of the merchant trade routes have been cut off or severely slowed down. So the only trade that Cassidy could do during that month was local trading in the Amberwood area, and and while he was working on construction in Amberwood, there were reports that some of the livestock went missing in the marshes, but everyone just associated that with it being with the livestock being attacked by gators in the swamp area.
Fuck mooses.
Probably the fuck mooses.
Yeah.
It's the fuck moose again. God help us.
And so, he did get some new magical items that he was able to trade with. There is a specific element / mineral that he needs to get in order to finally make a very specific craft that he's been working on. And he knows the location of where it's at, but because of the trade routes being cut off, it's going to be very difficult to try and obtain it. And once he receives the summons to return to Bealich-Ar, he had a difficult choice, to decide to just stay and continue helping with the reconstruction of Amberwood, or to answer the summons. And ultimately, he decided that, with everything that's happened, as much as he would like to go back to a normal life, especially now that his curse has been lifted and he's finally free to live his life, he feels like he has a higher calling, not only to stop the incoming threat that he knows adventuring with the whatchamacallits is about to happen, but on top of that, while his curse has been lifted, he knows that the hag who did that to him is still out there, and he not only does he feel like he has to be prepared for the hag's return, but he also feels like he has a responsibility to make sure that what happened to him doesn't happen to anyone else. So he decided to during that month he did what he could to help with the reconstruction of New Amberwood, but he decided to go off and answer the summons at Bealich-Ar. He has a cloak over his armor. He was able to acquire a cloak of invisibility, and also he turned the Grave Ward armor that we discovered, with all of the items that we found in the last dungeon. He was able to turn that into his new Mystic armor. So, all set of new abilities that he has thanks to that armor. So, yep, that's where Cassidy is at right now.
Very good. Bratty. Donde.
Braddock shows up in Bealich-Ar today, present moment, and yeah. I was in my head. Yeah, it probably is a cruise ship coming back into port. And you see Martine getting off the ship wearing, I could imagine, a couple lays and having a few tropical things on, and Braddock
Double
coming
fisting cocktails.
Yeah, Braddock coming off in complete large form, but you only see is his legs coming out because in front of him is nothing but presents and things.
I imagine what's underneath the presents is a completely open Hawaiian shirt.
Yes.
100%.
Completely open.
But he's still wearing socks.
Hairy
with the
dad
sandals.
belly too.
Oh yeah, just slightly exposed. This luau is the best one I've been to today. Braddock would go up to each of you and give you his like series of presents that is nothing but just tchotchkes and things. Here,
exactly what I
thought of
wanted.
you.
It's exactly.
This is a
You are
gun.
late.
Yeah, I know.
A snail made out of seashells.
I know. It's
This is perfect,
fantastic.
thank you.
So yeah, we.
I just got a regular seashell.
I feel like they're all exactly what you expect Braddock would think that you would want. Like it's exactly like, oh, I'll never throw it away, but
Yeah, we had
up
a-
on this shelf. Like,
I will cherish this forever.
yeah.
Yeah, guys, we had a great time. You know, we were bouncing around the aisles a little bit. You know, Braddock is also noticeably like 2 shades tanner.
He's the world's tallest and tannest dwarf.
World's sexiest dwarf now. Yeah.
He lifts up the hem of his shirt to scratch his arm a little bit, and it's pure blinding white.
Yeah.
100%.
They said something about like a farmer's tan. Or something.
Blinded by the light.
Even Mort's like, jeez. Wow, look at that guy.
Get some sun, man.
No, we bounced around, celebrated the honeymoon, visited the folks a little bit. I also, you know, while we were at the islands, I put together a little bit of island security protocols for all those places, made sure everything was on the up and up. Martine shoots someone. Look, I'm sorry, honey, didn't tell you about that.
Paperwork.
Yeah, it was a good amount of paper. It was a good honeymoon. But yeah, no, we heard some rumors too. Like, I can confirm the stuff Cassidy said about the trade routes being disrupted. You all were supposed to get presents last week.
Oops.
That
Oh.
still hasn't shown up yet.
Oh.
Gonna have to talk about getting a refund on that. But yeah, there's the trade routes. You know, the kaiju is still being seen around, but he's not really doing a lot of attacks or anything. So as long as you don't attack him, he doesn't really mess you up. So
I like
You don't bother him,
I like
he
the
won't
idea
bother
that there's
you,
a kaiju walking
usually.
around and it's just like, don't pay attention to him and he'll be fine.
The world
He's
is
just-
very large.
he's just here for the vibes right now. I also fully imagine
happened
too,
to be
if you've
awake.
seen the episode of The Office where Michael comes back from Jamaica.
Yes.
I can imagine there's like a single like braid with the
One
bead.
little bead in it.
Yeah. It was a good relaxing time, guys.
Really trying hard
They
with
bur-
his steel drum too.
Yeah. They had this thing called, I think they said sage, that if they said if I smoked it, it would relax me. It did a good job.
Did you bring any sage with you?
I think we got some in the back. I'll take a look. Martine's just.
We're all like nudging each other like,
Ren! What was,
I'm gonna bring this to the house, honey.
Did you add the cape to the inventory?
Yeah, Braddock has the full cape.
I'll remove it.
Actually, I think that's what will happen. It's like, I'll bring this stuff to the house, honey.
Mort coughs. It's the brimstone now.
oh yeah, so Ron, obviously Mari had a little bit of a rough time at the last last battle.
There's that little like anime cross bandage.
100% he's got the Luffy cross.
So Ron and Mare and Casserole, that little scamp.
Oh, you found your dog.
The three of us just kind of mostly laid low on the whatchamacallit. You know, obviously his Mari's chest was regrown, but it still took a while for him to start feeling better. So we just kind of laid low and hung out on the whatchamacallit and got a little cozier on the ship and got to know more of the people on the ship a little better and just generally like bonded with everyone over the month.
That's nice.
I know,
It
right?
takes a while for to feel normal after your bones regrow.
That's true. Yeah, it's not
So-
you'd think it's just one of those things where it's like, bam, your chest
You
is
bounce back.
Yeah, like you think it's just like, oh, I'm fine now. No, it takes a minute.
It takes a minute.
Also, there was some extensive therapy to deal with that trauma. for Mare of like having his chest literally ripped out of his body. So there's a little bit of
What
emotion.
does a dragon therapist look like? It's the larger, older dragon.
Talani's already taken care of that,
I dealt with
actually.
something like this
It's actually a gnome.
3,000 years ago.
More gnomes
It's
go
actually-
into the profession.
It looks
Actually-
like a gnome, but it's actually just an ancient gold
Dragon,
dragon.
yeah.
It's like,
Actually,
Show me
no.
what happened.
Surprisingly, it was just a human. It was just a guy.
What's your feelings on your mother?
It was just a human.
Do
He
my
just,
bones.
yeah, he
Oh, it has
didn't seem
everything
to be
in your
phased
bones.
at all by the fact
This guy's
that
he has 7 years of experience.
yeah. It was weird. He said he actually had experience with having his chest ripped out. Don't get that one, but all right, more
I
power.
think he lied
Maybe
to
it was
you.
like metaphor.
Yeah, I think he was lying.
Son of a bitch! You know what?
Oh, it is
That
open.
sir, his diploma looked kind of fake too. I think it was from what was the name of that college? Gale College? Like, gee, is that a real place?
Is that a real place? I'm so sorry, Yale College, if I don't know your real place. But if you
We're about
suck,
to get sued.
then
Slander.
it's Grand Chasm University.
Sarcasm University.
Hello, is this Sarcasm 101?
No.
No.
What do
No.
you think?
Oh, sorry.
It was a real college. It
He's
closed
never
in
gonna make it
1939
Really? Okay, we're
Oh.
good then. We're
in
good.
Wisconsin.
What do you do?
Talani had a very busy month, as
Yeah,
you guys can
no doubt.
imagine.
No doubt.
So her as the second daughter, the role that she was meant to inherit was taking over the guard that was like working with us in the down in the dungeon.
Because they all.
As you may have guessed, they needed a little bit of bolstering. A lot of them died. And her cousins and old friends essentially like begged her to stay on to help out. And I was like, okay, like as soon as everything is settled, I'm out. But also, like, it is her city and she loves her city, so she is gonna help out. So what Talani did is she helped rebuild the city and also fundamentally restructured the Ironheart Guard
Good.
into a this is a
To a full unionized workforce.
they have a
You love starting.
she fully reorganized it into a very firm community policing standards. She has she expanded employment in the town guard to include people like citizens from each neighborhood as well, and they are responsible for policing their own their own parts of the city. Imagine that. They have a labor union, and there's a citizen populated oversight committee. She's also
Get out!
You're a very busy month. She's also started. She gave instructions to recruit basically the fantasy version of social workers to help everyone deal with the trauma of
Social workers.
yeah.
Same gnome.
It's the same gnome. He's just everywhere. He's everywhere.
I've been very busy lately.
Yeah. And the actual labor work that these people are doing, like Talani was up all night, like doing paperwork and like writing bylaws and all this stuff. But the actual physical work is employing all the current Ironheart Guard into building and maintaining shelters for people to sleep as their homes rebuild. for where people can eat and bathe and all that stuff. So emergency housing and emergency resources, and it helped build up that trust back in the community, because I imagine some folks aren't that crazy about the nobles, especially since the kaiju blew out of the castle. At the end of the month, Talani looks at her sister and says, Vipka, you have to take Sisova. I cannot stay anymore. Can I trust you to actually uphold the standards that I've set here?
She kind of looks out onto the town. I mean, I guess. I'm kidding. Yes, of course. But, we might call on you for some input every now and then, and, stay on the
Certainly
lookout
has
if
teleport.
anything else comes up.
Sermi has teleport, so we don't necessarily need to be controlled by the speed of our boat in terms of going back home.
There's nothing wrong with
I can also probably, for less than teleport, I can, as long as we're attached to a body of water, we can teleport.
That's right.
I do somehow, and it cost me gold, it's okay, procure a sending stone so she can contact me.
You got it, fam. You're a noble house.
Yeah.
We have
did
an
everywhere.
incomprehensible
But my
amount of
room's
money.
off.
We have so much money.
You can do basically
My room is off limits.
Everywhere.
All
right.
Prestidigitation my entire room.
For the end of the episode of Kitchen Nightmares, where they go back,
Take a
the
black light to the
Osnabruck is
ship.
just falling back and
And she isn't really communicating much with her parents. She does have some like weirdly quiet tea time with her dad, where she just is furiously doing paperwork while her dad
fun, isn't it?
looks over her shoulder, and they're both drinking tea.
Yeah,
and that's a whole conversation
The only
for them.
conversation is. This is
that's the deepest talk they've had in months.
In years.
But you feel good afterwards.
I feel good.
What a great conversation with Sad.
Yeah.
He's really opening up to me.
Honestly, that's
That's what he says
than I
afterwards. Like, I
expected.
feel like she's really opening up to me. The guard that he's talking with us about is like, good job, sir.
That's great, sir. I just started
Yeah.
2 days ago.
Yes, thank you.
I present the entire structure to Siska, and I do not take input. It's like, this is what we are doing now.
She's about to say something, and your sister puts her hand out and goes, and thank you for your help while you have been here, Talani. However, we understand, as she looks to your father, who nods quickly, and then looks to your mother, who kind of that you must go, and that your responsibilities have expanded beyond the reach of our city border.
Yes, they have. Thank you for understanding.
And we all, they both kind of look back at your mother, understands that, and she yes. While you're out, please be safe, and feel free to, if you don't want to speak in person, just send a letter every now and then. It would be nice. Be safe. And she immediately opens and starts to just read. You see her taking and writing little things in the text and writing and calling people over and kind of talking under their breath as your father and sister usher you out. They have a small little teleportation circle prepared. Just one of the personal ones in parts of the castle that were able to kind of be rebuilt in the time. It's only quick enough for one person to shoom. It's not a full spell, but they've still maintained a connection to Bealich-Ar with the summons as kind of the focus point.
Okay.
And so they open it up for you. Siska gives you a big old hug, looks you in the face, and she's like,
Vipka's my sister.
Vipka, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I specifically chose names that are very similar to each other.
I get it. I was literally just thinking about the start of this. I'm like, their names sound so similar. I get it. It's the first daughter. But she grabs your face and she's like, "You are fierce. You are the champion of Osnabruck. You are the Duchess.
I am the Duchess.
Fucks him up."
I will fuck some up. But not this city. The city, I've left a damn good legacy.
And your father kind of steps forward and he has like a box. It's wrapped. You could tell your father wrapped this. It's
a newspaper.
It's not and it's not the most graceful of wrappings, but you can tell he definitely like tied it and he hands it and he goes,
So much tape on there.
It's all tape.
and he looks to your daughter, and I don't know how to say kick their ass in Osnabruckian, but that is what he, or whatever the equivalent is of fuck them up. Or get them. But whatever that you can think on it. But whatever it is, he gives you that.
That's slang that I've purged from my head for academic papers.
I understand.
Shit.
No, it's fine. You'll get it. It'll hit you like after the break. You'll come back.
Exactly. It's gonna
we'll be in the middle of like another NPC conversation with like Cassidy and Braddock, and you'll be like, "Oh yeah, it's."
Yeah.
If you finally figure out how to break the sending stone, that's
just Talani, just like, that's what Dad said to me.
Yeah, that's what it says. But he goes to like.
I just give him a hug.
And he kind of like tenses up and. Yeah.
Cheers, Papa.
And he tears.
Yeah.
You creatures, I got some teleportation dust in my eye. Just go, please.
Yeah, okay, jawohl. I'm going.
Go, please.
Also, tschüss.
And
Bye.
he's like literally like hunched over, sobbing into your sister's shoulder, like as she's like waving, like bye to you as you hop out.
They're so grown.
Yeah, she's so grown up. And you arrive in the room with your friends. Mort, what did you do?
He died. Mort actually died. Like
He's got a whole new character for tonight, guys.
First day into it, Mort actually
Of what?
dead.
He just fell and hit his head on the pavement.
I just fell over.
Gout, actually. Yeah, so,
Man, that must have been pretty aggressive for you just dying one day from it.
He just ate one really big pastrami sandwich.
no, Mort,
I'm sorry, I keep going and listening.
yeah, you're good. Mort has also been doing a little bit of traveling. Mort has been doing a decent amount of working out at the library, as it were.
Literally lifting books as he reads them.
So Mort's been kind of doing a few different things. So one, Mort has been traveling with Ginny for the last month or so. I know.
Weird.
I will
couples
say,
together.
at some point, Mort, within the month, probably tried to, if you all consent to it, probably tried to set time aside to visit each and every one of you and at least have lunch at some point during this. Mort was
Martine would have insisted.
Yeah.
To both of you.
Yep. Mort was an old
We had
Amber
that
for a little
interesting
bit.
couples class.
So we probably did hang out there for a little bit. While we were there, Ginny, who, as we know, has
You can come to one of the beaches.
Yeah, yes.
We each had a beach episode.
I mean, sir,
Your
we had
whole
a
month
beach
was a beach
season
episode.
and then
Yeah.
5 days of business.
Yeah.
It's all
5
a
days,
beach
all
episode,
5
except
days
for the
of
moments
therapy
where it cuts
session.
to Braddock just
Serbia created a beach
Yeah.
because
all
there was a
beach
forest
episodes.
on the side of on
Oh,
the edge of the
no.
ocean, and she deforested it and turned
That's
all
crazy.
of the soil into sand
That's so bad. How did she do that? Just
with her
punching.
sword.
With a sword! So while you were in Amberwood, what happened, Mort?
While we
It's
were
all
in
typical
Amberwood,
beach
Ginny
episodes,
decided,
like-
because she was casting some spells and stuff, which you did before, introduced me to her teacher. So in old Amberwood, we met up with Aunt Nan. Yes. So that happened. Mort, when he was researching at the library, as it were, he spent a lot of time still looking into see if he could find anything obscure about the origins of the fog. And what was the name of that lost city you told me about a while back?
Tomoyen.
Looking into Tolmayen as well.
Were you in Amberwood while you were researching all this, or?
I was probably researching all over the place.
Okay,
I had a
well,
month.
if he was doing research while in Amberwood, an argument can be made that Cassidy might have been able to help him
You could
out
use
with that.
his research stuff to help with that
Yeah.
if you want access. You both remember that the Veld journals speak about Tomoyen often. Veld seems to speak as if he went there. But as far as both of you know, even to you, Cassidy, it's supposedly a city kind of like outside, a city of undeath at the heart of Belubra. That's the myth. Some people have said they've gone there and walked the streets with
It's
the living dead.
Atlantis. Like,
It's undead Atlantis,
yeah.
which is probably what I'm...
At least on the travels, I can do the knowledge ping to see who is the most knowledgeable
Yeah.
on that place.
Probably Sirmia, because she's read the journals more, but you're probably second most.
Sirmia probably familiarizes herself with the journals over.
There's actually, can I see the journals and the artifacts? Because if you're with Cassidy, you'll probably be able to zero in on some shit a little better. That's supposed to be a diagram. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't think Sirmia did lots of research, but she definitely read each journal like 5 times.
This is the fourth one.
Yeah. I think Mort knows what's
Just a
in
little
them.
light reading.
Yeah, Mort probably knows what's in them, but
And maybe she looked into the Heartforge because she's curious how the known Heartforge relates to the origin forge that they found in the first grotto.
Let me see.
In the grotto.
They talk about
Oh, God.
Tomoyen right here.
I just had a thought. You could add one word, basically, to a name of a company and turn it into a terrible D&D offshoot that is very redneck. Crackers and Barrels.
no.
I still wouldn't either.
That's just Alabama.
That is as far as you guys.
So my ADHD brain came up with that because TJ has a Dungeons and Dragons logo thing down there, and on my peripheral scan, for some reason, my brain registered it as Cracker Barrel. And then I was like, okay, Dungeons and Dragons, and I just inserted the "and" into it, and I was like, oh, God.
We should all get to Taco and Bell after this.
So the only thing that it talks about Tomoyen here is this, and then it's blank, and then it talks about him leaving it after here. But I mean, if you want to see what the man says himself. But other than that, that's all you guys can kind of piece together. You don't have like anything that's like, ah, yes, I visited it here on this day, aside from him.
Yeah,
Or like,
and I think Mort's just learning to see what he can learn more about Tomoyen specifically in this case. So Mort's doing that. Hang out with Ginny, met Ginny's teacher. Mort has been loosely tracking some people as well. Each time he's hearing about the sightings of Nagra, because Mort's been hearing about those as well. I have been pinging for Sariel, I have been pinging for Reaper Sunny, and I have been pinging for Rumblefly, because they're still alive as well. So I've been loosely
what makes you
tracking.
think she's committed crimes? It was all in the name of science.
Yeah.
Well, he would
They're
be.
called war crimes specifically.
Yeah.
And
If he truly did not commit any crimes, he wouldn't be able to ping her in the first place.
Not Rumblefly, what was the...
No, Butterfly, you're right. The dwarf lady who experimented on Grillmore.
Realmore.
Yes, but also the one that turned into the flesh dungeon. That was...
Oh, Undertree.
Undertree.
Yeah, I was
They're
probably
also
thinking
done.
more for Undertree than Brundlefly.
Undertree seems to
We have,
keep
like, a loose
pinging
relation
in
with
what you guys left
Yeah,
her behind.
Brundlefly is
But
like
still
our
there.
on and off
Interesting.
frenemy.
yeah, we don't have the same problems with her that Grillmore.
Yeah, I don't need to track her that badly. I know she's probably committed crimes, but she's not an enemy currently. So, along with that, the final thing that Mort has been doing over the course of the month, he has been. What was I going to say? Shoot.
Getting to know Jenny better.
Yeah. It's gone. Dang it! I spent so long thinking of
You'll remember at the same time you remember how to say "fuck them
I
up"
know.
in German, Liz.
I know.
We'll come back.
We'll come back to it.
Yeah.
And Grailmore's been chilling in the afterlife with Mort's family.
Eating,
There we go.
eating mini hot
I
dogs.
learned
Do you have
different
the
swears.
Do
Um,
I have the bumper?
Last thing we'll do is I'll give you guys some little over-the-month
I
buttons.
remember.
What was it?
Mort was trying to orchestrate a meeting with the Knight of Zabalba that Martine told him about. That he wanted to meet when we were like before the wrestling. What was it? What was the big city?
Osnabruck.
No.
Tabula.
Tabula. Yeah, when we were in Tabula, I never got a chance to meet up with that person. So Mort's trying to see if he can get them to come out to Bealich-Ar.
One other thing that Cassidy has been doing over that month, he's been researching the flute,
word.
the
Don't like that.
flute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he as a mechanist, he already any magical item he interacts with, he automatically knows its properties, how to use it, what magic is affecting it, all that good
This
stuff.
was
so.
cursed.
So he's been learning what the flute does and how to use it.
Morse curse.
I'll get that information to you.
Can we collectively decide what we did with the bone Aegis? Because Sirmia has it. I feel like she would give it to the Dawn Brigade for safekeeping if we didn't have any.
We burned it in
Decisions.
a freaking volcano.
But they're indestructible as far as we know.
Yeah, in that case, we're keeping it under
Sucks
lock
when
and
you force
key and
things out of
supervision. And
God blood. Kind of hard to get rid of.
Yeah, so I feel like I would give it to the Dawn Brigade for safety.
And they keep it in their vault. In, a nice vampire fighting paladin brigade deep protected vault. In the month past, Julian went back to the family house in Morsk, made sure that no bullshit happened at the grotto that you guys found underneath there, confirmed that Undertree's body is still intact. The Heartforge remains inactive. But he does activate the August Gate that you guys found there to teleport to Bealich-Ar. Unfortunately, until you get, it's going to take a little bit to link to there because he's never used it here before. But you have a one-way ticket from his place to anywhere you want, as long as you have a channel similar to teleport, but it doesn't cost a spell. I think it does planar too. Other than that, I don't think I want to spoil anything else. So, you guys all show up. We'll take our break in like a minute with your letters of summons for whatever it were, and you all show up in the office of Lorien Tesson, the half-elf Braddock's, kind of like parallel in authority, but in different aspects. She bestowed Braddock's title onto him, but he kind of like holds her authority outside of Bealich-Ar to other places, and that's how he's been able to flash that shiny badge all the time. She just asks that he reports whatever he finds back to her. Yep. And she's got...
This is shipment 1.
She has some terrible, like some absolute, rookies just...
It's that scene from the Santa Claus where they're bringing in the
Yep.
boxes.
Dun, dun. And you guys just see these, like, 8 young folks just taking papers and, like, going through them and reading through
Sorry, it's
everything.
for my shorthand. I would have taken more detailed notes, but we were in a hurry. And
No, it's fine, sir. And she turns to all of you. There's
my God, that's
alcohol and
100%
just regular tea. She's smoking a pipe. She offers anyone else who wants to smoke whatever. The windows are open. It is midwinter. I forget what month comes after Orincolada. Oh, it's right here. We're in CB. We're in Orincolada. Sorry. I know. How could you forgive me? But spring starts at the end of next month. I know. But right now, it's still pretty fucking cold. It's like January in the world of Runa. So, you know.
Ah,
Yeah.
the arc is real life.
I know,
I
it's-
called it.
And it is snowing, so it is kind of like it was. A bunch of flurries going out. Not terrible. Like, it's not biting cold, but you're like, ooh, I don't want to be outside for too long. There's hot cocoa as well. But Tessan gestures for you all to have a seat, please. We have much to discuss.
Talani helps herself to an ale.
Wunderbar, as your people say. Yes.
Serve me a
Is
drink.
it
I've been
just-
trying to learn Osnabruckian since you left. I've heard that as Ironheart's been trying to establish communications as with walls.
Yes, I have.
I,
Yes.
I can't imagine if that had anything to do with you, Frau Talani. But who's to say?
Who's to say?
It is much appreciated. Merci. But, please, have a seat, enjoy yourselves, and then we should talk. And we'll be right back. Take a bow break, grab some snacks, get some stuff out for us to eat.
I just remembered.
Talani nods off while waiting for her.
Never unsee it.
I will never unsee it. We're waiting for Prince, but we're back. There's also some blue fire Takis.
Hey, buddy.
They do taste like stuffing.
So,
This is the encounter.
this is the encounter.
One single lovely kitten.
Tessan is actually the BBEG.
14. Oh, I have advantage on these.
You mean the cops or the BBG?
Wait for the city campaign for that one.
Riot.
Braddock's just like, I was the bad guy the whole time, but
All town guards are bastards.
We thought you knew that.
but I'm good.
We were very explicit in the beginning.
I thought it was all except Braddock. Okay, I want to try these chips.
I did this really cool community policing initiative in Osnabruck. You should really check it out.
Yeah, I heard about that. It sounds very similar to what we've been doing around here. Trying to do.
I don't think he knows we came down to start. Sun looks to all of you and she says, I obviously do not have to rehash the kaiju attack. You were right in the heat of the damn thing. But
Haku was so
obviously, some things have changed around Zalubra. And as such, I wanted to touch base with all of you because I suppose this all sort of kicked off around the same time.
Where are we meeting up? In Bealich-Ar?
Bealich-Ar in the
their
guard office.
I disguised myself.
Back to where it all started.
I remember doing lots of crime here.
Talani disguises herself, but it's just to get rid of the bags under her eyes.
I just have a mustache.
Just a mustache, everything's still the same.
You even changed your hair.
Who are you?
They'll never know.
She says, this Magra, the World Breaker, of which you tussled with in
That's a way to
Talani's town, they have been spotted, as I'm sure many of you saw on your travels or heard. But
I like to imagine on our travels, each one of us saw Magra just like passing in the background at one point.
I'm on the beach. That's a big wave.
Yeah. Everyone get back.
I'm gonna go surfing.
we have not engaged the beast directly. However, there's the French. We have not engaged the beast directly. However, there have been some impetuous and how do you say foolhardy.
Idiots.
Yes, Le Feu. Have gone in and tried to conquer the beast, of which people like the Great Haku and the Grail, the X-Toads, they could not conquer themselves, well beyond most people's capacities in this age, and so, while it seems happy to not lay siege to any more cities, I have taken note, and she kind of points over on part of the wall. There's a map. And you can see there's like multiple things like tacked out. They're kind of far apart with dates on them in the month. And she goes, I have noted these are where we have gathered the reports of the Magra, and either this thing can travel quickly or people are seeing more than one thing in the water of great size.
Well, both things could be true. Does it seem to have a pattern involved? It's been going around for about a month now. Is it creating sort of like a stomping grounds, or does it seem to be rather random at this point?
Well, it does not seem to be, like I said, it does not seem to be attacking things at random. Mostly keeping to itself closer to the edge of the mists, almost riding the edge of the fog. And she looks out, and it's kind of like twilight. And you guys can already see, and you've all experienced this.
Welcome back, Ron. Good to see you.
I've been here the whole time.
Ron's just been T-posing in the corner. Just clips back into place.
Ron, while you were napping, we've been discussing where the kaiju has been spotted.
Ah, okay. He was on the beach the last time I saw him. We were chilling.
And you saw that too, huh?
Our main concern at the moment is not necessarily trying to tame the beast, more like you said, trying to establish a pattern to perhaps avoid it at all costs. However, bringing up the fog, she gestures out the window, and guys can see the fog starting to come in. And those of you, all of you are locals of the Lubra. You know the season. It's not fog season. It should not be coming in this early or this heavy. It looks thick. And she says,
With how many seized?
actually it's in cubes territory now. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh my!
Yeah, 2 cubes thick.
Guys, something is wrong.
That's been happening. Which ain't right or normal. That
Well, not
climate
this
change
time
they've
of
been
year.
talking about.
And that is a problem. It is unseasonal, and I've garnished not many, but reports from most of the Lubra that they too are experiencing a heavy and unseasonal fog. I do not know if this is directly tied to the events in Osnabruck or a reaction to such. The fog seemingly has a mind of its own, and we don't really go deep into it, into the waters. However, that, again, is only partially why I bring you all here. I would ask that you all take to the Sea of Souls once again. There have been some alarming things happening around the Lubra, at least that we are even aware of. We do not know of which there is unreported. As I'm sure many of you know, Monsieur Cassidy, you work within trade merchant routes. It has been severely dampened. People cannot travel as such. They don't feel safe. It is not just Magra. It is this cult of Belgium, this Sariel, you have told me about. I have yet to hear from Monsieur Julien, but I have been assured that he is on his way. However, I have been told that we are dealing with angels, with devils.
Yeah.
Someone
so
fill
sorry.
me in specific. I'm a little cloudy on the details of that specifically of the adventure. It seems to be.
Well, the angel was the angel is an apostle of Ehrenfeld who was possessing the body of our now deceased member of a former now deceased member of the whatchamacallits, our old colleague Grailmore.
Who? I remember it graded.
Was it Grabmore?
It was Grabba.
Oh, that's what it was. That's right. May he rest in
Your
pieces.
ears burn in the afterlife.
And in pieces is he.
Talani's not gonna get another bless from him again.
Tassan kind
No, I
of
don't plan on bringing him
under
back.
her breath and goes, bringing up these devils and this Sariel. They were reportedly not just Osnabruck where these sieges were attempted to take place. It seemed that there were multiple places within Zalubra where people attempted to take over. I do not know to what extent they were either successful or not. However, I do have a number of places that I would like you to look into. If you could, please. And if perhaps you are looking for a route with which to take, she holds up a piece of paper and she goes, this came here. However, it was addressed to the two of you. And she looks to Sirmia and Talani and she sets it down. It's a letter. It's in purple with gold emboss. And it's got
I
the
throw it away.
Ilbrook like stamps. The wax seal is still intact on it.
First, we spit on it.
Yeah, put on it. I take my necklace of the coin collector.
I dispel magic on it first.
Okay, I was gonna do mage hand. Yeah.
It expels a slight thaumaturgy spell, which you guys would kind of recognize as a kind of in a little puff of smoke, a little wisp of Ursula's, just the general like perfume that she always has on her, just sort of like
Oh,
yeah,
it's just like a little flex.
yeah, just like yeah.
Okay. I do mage hand from my necklace, and to open it and lift it up. What does it say?
Undoubtedly written by Ursula. You could not mistake her immaculate cursive.
Damn her penmanship.
I know it's aggravatingly good.
It's gorgeous.
It's one of those things where you're like, God, I just need one thing, fucking one thing. I hate this lady.
Borderline calligraphy.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Oh my god.
But it says they're the only two that can read it. It's almost like a different kind of language. But it's ladies. I apologize that we were not able to speak more after the events in Osnabruck. Things escalated beyond the scope with which I was informed, and as such, I saw to it to take my leave. However, in the months since, things have progressed here at the Academy. And then you see a period, and Sirmia, with your passive perception, you notice that after this period, a new line starts, and the ink is just a shade darker. It
My
was either-
passive perception is now 24.
So, like, you notice it was either written later or, like, just earlier ink, or the ink is darker. It was a different time when the ink touched the paper here. But it says, same handwriting, though. As ladies of the Academy, I knew that you were ones I could trust and have the capabilities to take care of this. And you can see there's definitely like a hesitation in the cursive, and then it starts back up. Matter amongst friends. Please, at your earliest convenience, make your way to Ilbrook Academy. They will be expecting you at the gate, so don't worry about any trouble.
I don't
All
have to
the
worry
care,
about any trouble.
sincerely,
They do.
all the care in the world, Ursula Ilbrook.
It's time to go start a fire.
Okay, so this is clearly a
No,
trap.
that
This is a trap, right?
admitting to
Arson.
This is her trying to foist Malwa on you again.
Braddock flips a page over. You see him looking at more.
So, as you say that, Tesson says, possiblement, However, I will say most of the noble houses were able to respond in some capacity when we reached out to them here in Bealich-Ar. In lieu of, the Avarians not being a house at the moment. We are still working on that. But as such, we are the ones assuming correspondence, and
They're still a house. They just reside in this
Ilbrook, well, they are shady and no doubt illegal. Don't worry, they're on our radar. We agree that they are a threat that at least must be looked into.
Who's the older sister's name?
Sul,
At Varian.
Crescendo.
Do we want to bring Cassandra with us?
That'd be pretty fun.
I mean, the
Just,
other
just for drunk energy, I think that would be really fun.
I do want to be a bitchy cunt for a few minutes.
Question.
I'm just-
So Julian is not here currently.
Not right now. But she says, Ilbrook does maintain correspondence because she, I will say, of the more questionable dealings that the nobles deal with. She makes sure to keep herself well connected so that at least to the unprying eye she looks less conspicuous. But I will say this is the first time since gosh, probably since how old are you?
28.
30 years ago. Yeah, right around the time the little one, the pollywog, Malwa, when he was born, she went away for some time. But this is the first time we have not heard from her soul in a moment. And there have not been any reports of this cult circling the Ilbrook Mouse. It's just been, how you say, radio silence.
Is her soul human?
But
And she looks super young, despite being.
Belt says that she is. Oh well, with your past, we'll give it this path of perception. Because you've at least glanced the journals. Aaron Veld talks about visiting Ilbrook, and Ursula is a little girl.
So
That's
she's
200 years ago.
yeah.
That's-
Okay. I mean, we know that she's up to some magic fuckery. Do you have any idea what this might be? She's quite cryptic in this.
So Aaron Veld could have given her artifact in person,
Oh God. Yeah.
and she has a stake in the game. Either way, she needs to die. Like this isn't murder. This is like in order to defend the populace.
I mean, yeah, she is terrible for the world, but I also would personally kind of like her dead. She is terrible.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, to
it-
me
it-
it's
it's-
gonna be murder, but to the rest of the world it's not.
as long as
They're
you're
gonna
being
be like
honest
good
that this
riddance.
is in fact a personal vendetta. Okay. So
La
maybe
la 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 la, n'entendez pas. La 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 la.
We can
So she
we
might
can
be
discuss,
being
motives
threatened by.
later. Maybe I shouldn't call them motives.
That being said, I
Being
would
threatened by
appreciate
the
if
whole
you made
cult.
your way to Ilbrook. Either to suite or not. You can other places I would enjoy if you could at least connect with.
What other missions do you have for us? Because I want to, just take a little breather before I dive back into that whole history.
Absolutely. I do not expect you to jump.
Second
As said, please, if you could eventually make your way there, I do not expect you to hop, skip, and jump your way. There are some things within the city, in fact, I would appreciate you giving a look into. Bealich-Ar is large, and after all the bullshit that has been going on, we are spread thin, to say as it were. Even here in the city itself, there were portals, devils, demons, creatures popping out all over the fucking place. And, we have adventurers that come through here and there, but there are no resident folk, as it were, who calls this place home. So, it was stressful. But we do not get as bad as, of course, you, and I'm sure there were smaller islands that had it worse. So I would appreciate. There's a few, and she kind of draws out a map, and it kind of like. There's multiple ways that you could take to Ilbrook. You could also teleport there, but these are more so places that you guys could drive through. They're kind of close to Bealich-Ar. You didn't go within the kind of surrounding islands, as it were. There is a place called Red Branch. There's a place called Coal Fury.
Pretty cool.
And there's a place called Flatbrow.
Ooh.
These are all places that have reported strange beasts being sighted in the night. Some have reported livestock gone missing.
You don't say. Oh, back in my hometown of Amberwood, like livestock has been reported going missing as well.
I like to think that perhaps it is the wildlife getting a little antsy with the unseasonal mist. Perhaps it was even ghouls and something sneaking out, sort of beyond the periphery. But whatever it is, I would appreciate you looking into it, especially if you say this is happening elsewhere beyond Bealich-Ar's reach.
Yeah, last time livestock went missing, we found necrocore in the livestock.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I'm
for
a
reminding me about that.
I'm a
You're so
little
smart.
concerned about that.
Yeah, speaking
can I-
of the
can I-
necrocore.
Can I roll a check to see if Mort would know which of those three locations would have the most interesting fish?
The most interesting fish.
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. What stat do I add to that?
Are you remembering what Bates told you?
Yes.
History.
History.
These are really good, TJ.
Something that I
Yeah, they're
use
just like
so
normal checks, but with like
infrequently.
a hint of stuff.
17. 17 for history.
The best fishing is probably going to be in Red Branch. But the best deep water fishing is going to be in Coal Fury.
Oh, you can't give me two options like that.
We've already done the best fishing of all. We've fished in Abilene.
Didn't you drop a ceiling on it?
Yeah. I feel like we completely skipped the fight.
I was actually just thinking about how well you guys handled that fight. Like, it was one of those things like,
We're
we
like,
could duke this out, and you were like, or
no, we gotta.
science could save the day.
Oh, speaking of abolets, we gotta treat Ursule like an aboleth. Or something similar. She's going to be able to control people's minds. Just imagine if I were to be attacking you instead of them. You don't want that.
You would never attack me. We are best friends.
Well,
I do have.
Unless Ursule used her mind fuckery.
Yeah, I do have a spell called Iron Mind, so.
and my armor, well, is she an aberration or a...
Jesus Christ.
That's like 4 Takis.
That's a
Oh,
blue
God.
chicken wing.
It does literally taste like blue, too.
It does.
Would she be
It's
concerned?
disconcerting.
All Takis are disconcerting.
My- like I was
Oh,
telling
that's upsetting.
Mike when I when I taught in Texas, my kids used to bring like full bags of those and eat them in class, and I was
I
like,
like the
"Oh,
red
they must
ones.
be pretty
So
good."
loud.
I
like the red ones, but not these.
oh. Those ones do taste like blue. I can't explain it, but they don't taste like raspberry or
The thing that
blueberry. Or
makes me
anything.
mad is because blue raspberry isn't. It's not real. Like, there aren't blue raspberries. Like,
Mental health, a dum dum.
It tastes like blue and raspberry.
really, like. Anyways.
What does blue taste like? Dye. What?
Okay, so we're doing some little side projects.
Well,
Are we,
Beyond
or are
that.
we waiting for something?
I think
would
we're
like
heading
you
to
could help us.
Ilbrook,
If you
but-
could please head to Ilbrook at some point, eventually. However, if you would like to take your time, there's more local matters that I could appreciate an efficient and proven, capable set of hands with. Perhaps to execute things quickly and maybe take some things off our plate for the guard to catch up.
Well, I
Of
haven't been I've been exercising every day, obviously, but I feel like we should.
Obviously.
I need to gain some momentum. I haven't been under stress in over a month, which has been very helpful.
I have been under stress, but
You
I have
haven't
not
been
been
under
exercising
stress?
to my usual standard.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that.
I could use a little limbering up.
Good.
Let's take care of some local things.
Okay, I feel like I tell you.
What is closest?
Yeah.
What fun little
Well,
The team.
mission do you have for us right now?
as I mentioned,
Yeah, I
there
tell
are
you everything that
plenty of
happens.
islands that are pretty close together.
Which one is the
Cold
closest
Fury,
of
Red Branch, and Flatbrow with the missing
Especially
livestock.
the eating out.
Yeah.
And find
The
out.
I will
closest
say-
of those three.
I don't
Yes,
list any
Cold Fury,
restaurants. I just,
Red Branch,
I just
and
say,
Flatbrow.
find
Is
any
that the
restaurants
order
out.
of how
That's
far
so
they
if
are
you from
away?
here, if you
But then
went
I also
south,
say
you
that I
kind
was
of
at
go
the beach
boom,
the
boom,
entire
boom.
time.
Okay.
But they are
Like a
of,
kiosk. Like,
of the
No.
islands nearby. Those three are very closely connected
Just
to
like
each other.
the beach.
So
I
much
made a
to
new
you would
beach on the
understand
Sunpond
this,
Isles.
mademoiselle. Similar to the
I
bridges
made a new
between
beach on the Sunpond
some of the
Isles.
islands in Osnabruck. Some of the places
It
between
was just
these
a
islands are
section
close
of the
enough
beach
to
that
bridge.
nobody goes to, so just two people.
They share an economy. Fishing is some of that. Oh, you know fishing. Awesome.
Are you gonna?
Are you an angler?
Something like that. I've been, around the old
Oh, if you
boat or
Ocean?
two.
if you promise to hit the water, I would love to give you some of my angling to some of my little accoutrements to use. If you could tell me that this was caught with something I could help with, I would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that'd be so fun.
Now I get to use that book. All right. However,
Sorry for the next entire
something
session,
that
guys.
really got me
No cutaways. Just
wanting to ask this of all of you, because missing livestock, like we said, it could be crocodiles, it could be alligators, it could be some an eldritch horror of the fucking night. I do not know. But that is something that our guards are honestly more equipped with than the stuff that's just been popping up here and there.
Have we been in a grotto on Bealich-Ar? I don't remember.
They've watched outside. There have been a few that are known grottos that you needed permission to go into.
But we've been in one on Bealich-Ar.
That was the first one. That's where you found the Bone Ages.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you guys explored it more.
Just
Last time you were
recall.
in there, Greylick had his first banana peel moment, so you didn't really go
Oh, yeah.
back after that.
Greylick.
In the island of Flatbrow specifically, there have been reports of oh dear, I can't believe I'm saying this. He calls himself the Demon Lord Akishigal. Reports say he's a giant cockroach.
oh,
I do not know to what extent they mean that literally or
Demon
metaphorically. That is what he claims himself to be. However, there are
A cockroach
apparently
that speaks.
yes.
is it
This-
giant by
do they have
cockroach
arms?
standards or human standards?
I was just going to say reports are human-sized cockroaches terrorizing the people of Flatbrow, and they've taken over and are claiming the island for themselves.
Okay. That sounds pretty urgent.
It sounds really good. If you could possibly maybe put there before Ilbrook, maybe the people would help. And at least check into Cold Fury and Red Branch on the way back. But if they are spreading, you will hit them first, and there's a chance you may encounter these beasts there, so please be careful. I do not know of what they are capable. We just got this report in last night when I heard that all of you were finally answering, not finally answering, when it was, you would all come together and were heading up here, you know. I have breaths of relief that it didn't quite come together as such, but I would really like to find out some more information about that. It sounds like a fucking joke, but so more than often recently in the last year since we have all become acquaintances with each other, the jokes are more real than reality.
Well, I keep telling you, the real life
After
is
it-
this arc.
Yeah. Well, after everything that we've seen in our travels, giant cockroaches doesn't seem like a far
They're
stretch.
calling
Human-sized
themselves the
cockroaches.
Can't wait to meet this
More just
person.
that
Maybe
the
we can
jokes.
enlist
It's
them.
like, this was a joke at one point. Now this is just what's happening.
As she sits back, there's a knock on the door. She looks up, and one of the rookies like, Madame's son, they're here. He sends them in. And they, right this way, and they kind of get shoved out of the way as the door opens in a much more well-dressed version than you've seen them. Last you saw them, they were in a very dirty lab coat, but very well dressed. Actually, probably both of them you saw in a very dirty lab coat. Dressed to the nines. They look academic, but not overly done. You see Alortio at Varian, hair slicked back, not tweaking as much as normal. Nose looks clean.
He took a shower this year.
He took a shower this year. it was that day today, so he made sure to do it. But walking next to him, you guys see and hear the mechanical leg go as the shorter, stout Isadora Brundlefly, also dressed to the nines, very similar to each other, almost exactly the same. Walking next to each other, and they both try to walk in the doorway, but they at each other, and they let me go. I was going fast, and they kind of push through. The hair kind of. Wunderbar, good to see all of you again. And Lord Tio, yes, friends, it's been some time. They both start to talk over each other, and they glare in the eye. Brundlefly's other eye kind of comes out and looks at him too from the side,
Just hook up.
please, by all means, Isadora, you take charge. I'll just sit back here. And he unscrews alcohol, pours it into a drink glass, takes some of Tesson's drink, pours it in the drink glass, 2 drinks it. Isadora's talking, and she goes, very good. And she goes, if we could close the shades, please. And Tesson, of course, closes everything, and she clicks the side of her roboticized head, and the eye and projects onto the wall. Kind of like an old-fashioned projector, look, it has the lines going through and the little specks here and there. Very sepia tone, but you can see was basically silent
She pulls
video.
out a little keyboard.
Right, yeah, there's a stenographer going as well. Julie comes over. In the last month since the factory that happened in Osnabruck, mine workshop was destroyed, and Lortio gracefully offered up one of his workspaces for me, and so we have been doing research
Oh, you're on the boat now?
information that we gathered. I have been landbound. I would prefer to remain landbound if I could, in communication. I do not know
I thought
if...
Lordio's lab was on the boat now.
Oh, yes. He goes, I've got many locations. He worked on your ship in his lab, in Tabula. He's got some labs all over the place. His family's still rich. Just because they're doing illegal shit doesn't mean they don't have access to some of it. Or they're illegal places that the money had already paid for. But you're aware that Lordio has some workshops, places. But he does have his portable one that he attached to your shop. But we have been working on some security measures, but for us here in Bealich-Ar, but as well as the rest of the Lubra. But that being said, we have been trying to search for any sign and have been unsuccessful in gathering information or a location on Batiel or his psychotic sister Sariel. On the plus side,
Oh,
what
well,
is it?
I've been tracking Suriel a little bit. To the best of my ability.
You notice she pops up here
Do you
and
have
there,
pictures?
but
She's kind of all over the place.
she seems very hard to... It's almost like something's blocking you here and there, like they take something off or put something on that
Sure.
However, that being said, we have not, the good news being, they have not tried anything new. The bad news, of course, being, like I said, we don't really have any lead on them.
I mean, they basically got what they wanted to.
Well, I'm
So-
wondering if not.
So I'm sure they're preparing their next thing.
Brundlefly, any progress on the Necrocore? You know, the Necrocore that you extracted from the corpse of our dead companion?
That is for the purpose of science. When I have any lead on it, I will, of course, let you know.
Are we still infected?
Memoriam.
I haven't really thought about it.
I think that when we got those, when we created those new items that technically made us apostles and we got those new abilities, I think that they'd used the Necrocore that was inside you guys. I could be wrong, though. There was something about the necrocore.
If you wish, we could run some tests and see if there are any necrocore fully remaining within your system that we should worry about. Moving forward, I would assume that you will encounter it again if we continue this grotto dip.
I mean, the necrocore, there's probably necrocore in our artifacts, right? The coin is now floating around my head, and there's also an iron stone floating around my head, so I kind of have like a little halo action going.
How pretty.
I have reason to believe, as Sariel said, that she had enacted this requiem. Even with the
did we
time...
find anything out about that? I thought I would find something in the journals, but I didn't.
Well,
that much.
I knew Veld in his youth, before he,
Oh yeah, elves are old. How do you do it? How do you stay young?
I guess it's just something I don't know about to tell you.
I started a skincare routine.
But
Seems
Brundlefly turns and looks to you guys and says,
It's just putting on lotion.
You have to cleanse first.
"You do have to cleanse. However, I do have reason to believe that
I give you some sunscreen. Put this
this
on every day.
battle with her brother Baltiel was not leaving her unscathed. However, she may have presented herself. This was recovered from the site, and I have ran quite many tests on it. And she holds a dagger. It looks like a black
Ooh, that's
metal
creepy.
dagger.
I try to touch it.
Jeremy, no.
My mage hand slaps you away.
All of us collectively just slap her hand at once.
Well, I could
knows?
just
I try to
identify
grab it
it
with
by
my mage
just
hand.
looking at it.
This is a dagger not made of this realm. I've heard of them. They act as a sort of
And she stabbed above the...
dampening mechanism on the inherent creature's power. These were forged to work on perhaps a fiend or a celestial. This one seems to have been tampered with to be effective on fiend-type creatures.
Wait, are you saying that she killed Bathiel? Like he didn't,
This is the
he
one
didn't go
that's-
back to his plane, he died?
Well, this is where we found in the location of where you said he was killed. If I am to believe this is where she slew him, this is what
You
she
identify
used to
Uh-huh.
weaken him greatly.
This guy can identify.
Yeah, I activate my goggles of identify, and I get all the details of the item.
It's a dagger that weakens fiends when they're stabbed with it and severely dampens their power.
So it didn't
Very effective
necessarily
against
kill him.
fiends. Yeah.
No, but it seemed that it made this more of an
It made it easier.
easier
to
fight for
banish
Sariel. However, oh no, I did the French. Sorry. However, that being said, I have reason to believe that there may be a matching pair with this. But all of my sources
What, like one that's a reverse? Like
that
dampened
affects
celestials?
celestials. However, procuring it may be difficult. I have heard that there is a sage who appears via a golden steed, but they seem to disappear and reappear here and there throughout the ages. I do not know how to...
Sage, do you think they can make people smart?
However, if you could find this person, supposedly, back in the day, the herald of Asmodeus himself gifted the dagger that would affect celestials to this man, as well as the child of a fiend.
And the
To
herald and
raise.
the sage are the same. Is that what you're
The
saying?
herald was a friend of the sage.
And you bring up the sage as if
I
we're gonna-
believe he's the only, in my
he's
research,
the only one that would know where it is. Is that what you're saying?
as far as I can tell, I can find just one matching pair of this dagger, and it is to the sage. He's in a legend that supposedly the herald of Asmodeus gave him a dagger. I
So
do
that's
not know
basically a
the
dead
validity.
end.
It could be. I don't know. It's lore for all intents
Yeah,
and purposes.
There's no way we're gonna find this guy. He appears randomly, unless there's like a specific event that he's planning on showing up for.
I mean, the
Maybe he
herald.
finds us.
Or
This
if
is
he
true.
committed a
Yeah,
crime.
so we might as well not
We
look
get-
for
I
him.
mean, messing around with the matters of the seated prince is nothing to mess around with.
Is that his name?
And that is one of the monikers of Asmodeus, the seated prince, he who waits.
The friend of the table.
He is not. Asmodeus is actually quite a bad god. The herald is, as Lor says, Asmodeus' herald can be a bit of a shit starter for the devil god. But whatever the case may be, he gifted this very important item to a mortal. If you can get a lead, then we would be very thankful. But
Okay, I mean, we'll keep an ear on it.
Brundlefly says, also, the last lead that I have found is before I left, I managed to get a number of schematics and information that the cult has for their future plans. I believe they have been in preparation for this since the day and should be reaching the next stage of their plan.
I mean, we gave them a whole month.
It is in the Burning Reef. They have been trying to activate the original Heart Forge.
Oh, I looked into that.
An enormous god machine.
Do you want me to roll for history?
I know about
You could.
Or if I have any
bush.
information?
Oh, Martina's a redhead.
18.
I got a nat 20.
History?
Yeah.
Okay. The Burning Reef is one of the regions. It's mostly all subaquatic.
I learned about this
That's
from
right.
researching fish.
It's mostly subaquatic or aquatic. Either races or people that live directly on the water or underneath the water fill up most of the Burning Reef. It has unusually high volcanic activity, not in some places to a dangerous degree, and that's where people settle, but it has a lot of volcanic activity.
So it can be assumed the
Underwater.
underwater.
And it has a lot of like metalwork for the Lubra comes out of there. Both underneath and above land, people will forge things with various levels of degree. If it's not Ironheart metal, it's Burning Reef metal that you guys have gotten to use. I want to go get another something sweet. But she says they're trying to reactivate this. I'll take some of that. Yeah.
You just have the rest.
Thanks. And if either before or after you deal with the problem at Ilbrook, I would appreciate if you look into that. I believe your friend Gorin had been.
I mean, based on the map, if we go northwest, that's Ilbrook, and then the Heart Forge is just north of that. So it's kind of
Yeah, sounds good to me.
No.
Yeah.
Take care of the local things and do the Elbrook and then do the Zatzink.
Alright.
Time to get some momentum. Let's go kill a demon king.
Yeah! Okay. Well,
I'll go buy some DEET. That's a cockroach.
Some good steel-toed boots.
I
I'm
could
already
punch
wearing
some
steel-toed boots.
So, where do you guys head first?
What were the options?
Coal Harbor.
There's
because that's the first island on the way.
Bien.
We just skip all of those. Fuck these.
You guys can deal with it.
I do ask Lortio how Mono is doing.
Yeah, isn't Mono here in Bealich-Ar? Isn't that where the Avarians are based?
Mhm.
Yeah, so Mono's here.
Mano's here.
Talani's beach episode. Mono just on the beach and it cuts to her just in the bushes. Oh.
Yeah,
Talani
it was
did
literally
not-
today.
25 minutes of just. Oh.
Tragically, Talani did not get a beach episode because she was working so hard.
just doing community service, just cleaning.
I was sweeping the beach with my eyes.
And the opposite of the spectrum, Sermi was on the beach for like 90% of the month.
It's been so nice to relax.
Maltea doesn't like the beach.
She adjusts her hat, and you guys get a brief glimpse of like under eye bags, like down to here.
She had an umbrella.
Oh, that's good.
Sunlight
That's how
sensitivity.
Braddock looks before this month off.
It's called the Sun Pond Isle. There's no avoiding the sun. Might as well be in the beach.
Hard being a civil servant, isn't it?
We don't plan on settling down in that place.
It's really difficult
always sunny
undoing generations and generations of bureaucracy
And it's in the middle of the equator.
regressive
Very
policing
long days.
practices. Yeah.
If you'll excuse me, I'm going to go serve a no-nine warrant.
I grab you by the belt and pull you back. I don't think so.
Oh, history-wise, Brundlefly also says I will continue to look into the possible location myself. However, I believe that information we seek for this requiem may be located in the 6th and final journal,
How
of
do we
which
know
I do
there's
not
only
know
6?
where it lasts.
The fabled 7th.
I'm assuming so. At the start, he said he had, 6 journals from his mother?
Oh, that's true. That's right.
Maybe he made a 7th. Maybe that's the requiem.
I mean, yeah, it said that he had 6 from his mother, but what if he was like, I bought another set of 6 in the 6th
We
book.
all Mandela effect to look at the,
Oh,
books
get
that
a
says
second
one
set of
of
Lisa
6
Frank
on it.
journals. So colorful.
He accidentally made a 7th Horcrux.
Maybe.
Like an idiot.
The travel there is...
Do you have any idea?
Yeah, is the whatchamacallit here if Julian isn't?
What'd you say?
Is the whatchamacallit here?
The SS
Oh,
whatchamacallit.
Didn't you drive it?
Yeah, I drove it, but I didn't figure, because
How'd you get here if it's not here?
we took
Here's
a
a cruise
cruise.
ship.
Oh,
Um,
cruise.
Now, unless everyone's okay with Braddock, have just, all right, y'all have fun, and Julian just like, wait, that's my ship. Bye.
Let's get off my bag.
I thought it was
Sure.
a Varian ship.
Julian has left the ship in Chrysath's care because the crew's been on the ship. He stayed in Morse to tend to family
Yeah.
stuff after the demon attack.
I get back on the ship.
Feels right.
Any changes made to the ship in the last month?
It's cleaner. Ron has his own room.
I finally have my own room.
Does Mare have his own room?
Mari has a perch
Yeah,
on
Mari
top
has a
of
perch.
the main
Oh,
cabin
okay.
quarters.
Just to mess with Braddock, Ron sanded down
Mara got a blanket.
the parts of the wheel, the mat. He sanded it down to make them uneven, just to mess with him.
You do that, Braddock feels that immediately, and using his shipbuilding background, fixes it immediately, because this is what he usually did.
Oh, man.
I do ask Chris
Shoddy
as a-
workmanship here. Whoever did this should feel ashamed of themselves and the quality
Would
that
there
they
happen
did.
to be another cabin for
Braddock
me?
gets pelted by an orange.
Because I can't
randomly.
really share with Sermia and Bate anymore.
What?
I saw everything that
What'd you
happened.
say?
It was a run by fruit.
What no?
As you're there, Maltea's,
It's time to get really awkward.
Solid.
Maltea's on the
Solid
dock,
reference.
and she's like, I'm actually going to stay home for a little bit. It's been a while, and I wouldn't mind spending some time with my sister.
Okay.
Boo.
Well,
He'll be right
tell Mono that he can join us on at any point on our journey.
I'll pass it along.
I don't know what he's up to right now, but yeah,
Making sure the city's safe.
of course,
I
yeah,
know.
natürlich, yeah.
See, a dog.
I feel like we never talk, but I
So
hope
such an
you have a
honorable
good time
Actually-
at home.
I'm going to see you in a few days.
Yeah, well, you know.
Considering Ursul's influence on the Opvarnians, maybe we shouldn't take them to Bilbo.
The male Apvarians are resistant to her. The female Apvarians have the
Need the-
special curse.
Yeah.
No.
That's fucked up.
It is fucked up. Yeah.
It's a dark elf thing. The men don't get the telepathic powers, but there's
a social.
an
standing.
all mother where
It's a matriarchal society.
it's a matriarchal society. Oh no,
They're not
there's
like in a fun way.
some males are born. The males born with telepathic powers are killed at birth because they
It's
have
a matriarchal society.
yeah, it's matriarchal and it's they've got the telepathic powers and they're resistant, whereas all the females who are born they have it.
So Ursula is a dark elf?
How would you know if a
Or,
baby
no,
has
she's
Priscinda
telepathic
and
powers?
Malthea are.
So
It
how does
doesn't
Urs- I
cry out
forget, how
loud,
does
you just hear
Ursula
it crying.
have influence over them? Is
It's
it literally
somehow
just
more
her
annoying.
artifact?
Yeah, because it's in your head.
There's no
Oh, I probably have
turning
blue
it
on my
down.
forehead now.
No, you're good.
Ursula has influence over them because she's been in their mind before, and she's using the artifact, and because they have telepathic powers, they are prone to them. The two boys have fucking zero telepathic powers because they're boy dark elves, but it's because of that she also can't. There's nothing for her to ping. It's like trying to hit a fucking rock.
What's his class? Is he
Mono?
just a fighter?
He's an Echo Knight,
Oh, okay. Wait, so he has magic then?
kind of. He has magic through because he cares so much.
Oh.
He has the magic of carry.
He throws his voice.
Is Ginny traveling with us, or did she stay in
Psych.
Amberwood?
It makes an echo.
She has traveled with you to Bealich-Ar.
Okay.
However, oh, actually, she is going to be the NPC that goes with you on this adventure.
Who is?
Ginny. All right.
Ginny
So-
can have Malthea's spot.
By the time you guys leave,
Julian's
so
spot.
the girls all have their
Yeah,
own
Julian's
cabin.
spot.
The ladies
Oh,
all
yeah.
have their own
She's
cabin.
less than half the power of both of them.
Yeah, that's kind of scary. Why are we? I mean, I guess we have a couple level ones with us as well.
It's fine. If Mate isn't, he doesn't make him. It's okay.
The teenagers are like level 7 and 8 by this point. By traveling
wow.
with you guys.
Jesus.
Oh,
nine.
yeah. We stole those kids.
We didn't leave them in Tabula? Weren't they going to the school? Isn't that why they wanted to go to Tabula?
And Ravencrest said,
We were doing a better job.
"You're doing
basically.
exactly what they do."
Oh, whatever. Whatever.
So they gave them their approval. They said you guys are basically their work study, and then, but they're on the ship. They're part of the crew. So, but Ginny's basically bunking in the bunk that Malthea would have stayed in. So it's you three, in there.
We shared a bed, so Ginny's sleeping in my bed.
There was a
think-
third bunk that we used for storage for a while there.
Yeah, I
My
think
swords.
Yeah.
I think the one student, Bren, actually stays in there too. They're non-binary, but I think they prefer to hang with the girls. For sleeping, at least.
Okay.
I think, yeah. Yeah. So, and then Chrisitha, of course, she would bunk with you guys, but she's not gonna leave that kitchen unattended. So, the Forever Soup survived the kaiju attack. I know everybody was worried about that. The Forever Soup made it. But there was a little bit of spillage, but
It said the name, of course it survived. Mort was
Mort's
not,
villain origin story is when the Forever Soup.
yeah, Mort was not worried or phased even a little bit. Mort is just accept like, yeah, well, that was a given.
And you guys still have your room of bunks still, aside from the crew who have kind of like their room of bunks. Lordio's Lordio's cabin can also be a storage space. It's also a room. It's next to. Oh no, it's all an airship now. So it's all been revamped. So there's room for everybody. And the ladies have their own room. There's the central talking stone, not just in the ladies' room. It's in the central hangout now, so that they don't have to like knock on your guys' door to talk to people. That was so awkward. Oh, I need to go talk to the church. hello, are you guys awake? 5 more minutes. But other than that, it's it's comfy. It's very almost the Bebop from Cowboy Bebop in terms of what it looks like and how it feels. A medium-sized ship, but room for everybody. Not too complicated. She might not look like Munch, but she'll clear the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs. Sort of thing.
Dang.
3, 2, 1, let's jam.
And you guys pull up to Coal Fury, and you can see it has a small, like, kind of forge on the island. It looks like it goes down into the earth a little bit. And it's mostly ships. There's, like, some small airships. You'd know them as, like, windrunners. They're, like, 2, 3 people tops. This is just south of Bealich-Ar, maybe quarter of a day. They're almost like 1.5 the size of a canoe. There's a mast, and you guys, these are pretty common things. There's a command word, and a magical sail pops up and out the sides, and you can kind of.
And they fly.
They fly. They're not like great for super long distance, but if you got to get over there real fucking fast, they're kind of like sea-doos, but for boats.
Okay.
Or they could just be a normal sailboat, but most people use them to kind of skirt through or go out far, fish, and then
The
come back.
flying fish of boats.
Kind of, yeah. Kind of. Like, truly, though. You can decide if you want to, like, kind of fly for quick, short distances or sail normally. But there's a few of those. Doesn't look to be too much, maybe, like, 35 buildings. 7 or 8 of them are, municipal or shops or whatever, inns, and the rest look like they're just residential. Braddock, you know this place. They offer a lot of the coal that the smiths use in town. There's some smithies that do like kind of like specialty work out of here, but for the most part, it's like trinkets, really fine, like the dwarven craftsmanship. Who they're like okay, and they roll out a chisel set that's like 3 feet long of just like 57 different like lengths.
This
of, like,
one is when you need to fine it
Exactly,
slightly,
yeah,
and
and
this
it's
one
like,
is when
you know-
you need to get it even finer, and then
Yeah.
this one is when you need to coarse it, and then
yeah, exactly.
Now let me tell you about shipbuilding.
Yeah, exactly. And as you guys get there, you can see there are a lot of like metal workshops, a lot of jewelry, just little ironwork. Some of it's dwarf metal, which you would know is kind of expensive, but it's kind of priced up for that too. They don't have a lot of weapons, it seems to be, in this town, as it is just like a little place. There's, the blacksmith has some spears on the wall, but there's nothing like crazy. There's like a general store shop if you guys needed any general adventuring supplies, like rope, torches, crowbars. But a marvelous Marizels. You guys haven't met them. But you two would know, because of your family things, that the Marizels are kind of like one of the unofficial noble houses, and they're kind of slotted to maybe take the Albanian spot.
Okay.
Big merchant family, huge merchant family. Head of them is like...
Slotted like they're trying to take the Albanian spot.
There's whispers that like they're probably going to be the ones that all the other houses are like, yeah.
I'm here to destroy some ships.
But for the most part, the Marizels, they're based out of Tabula, but the second son lives in Belubra.
So there's no, other than him, there's no like family members there.
So I mean, like he's established his family there. Like he's got like kids and a family and stuff. But like the patriarch, who's the one who started the Marizels, he's still based in Tabula, but he ventures out all the time. You guys have seen him at the Nobles things. You guys have seen him in Bealich-Ar. He's one of those like. He's the John Goodman voiced actor from Princess and the Frog, just like that enormous like. Huge mustachioed.
Oh, the dad?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, it's good to see you.
Tell you what I would like to just. But he's got like the big. So when he hugs you, he literally he's picked your dad up off the ground, seemingly kind of okay, just like a fucking door-sized human being, both height and width-wise. He is a portly fellow,
And
but
he
you have
does
the
all
sense
their-
that he could probably stand his own. If
He does all their merchant business here.
He started it. He's kind of passed it to his children because
Okay.
he's made enough. he's now gone into philanthropy because he's kind of started to Uncle Scrooge, and he's like, I don't know what to do with it. And so he's just, the Marizell this, the Marizell that, the Marizell that, and people are like, someone has to wrangle this man, and like, so they're like politics. They're just,
Considering that Cassidy's trying to expand his business, he hands him a business card. Cassidy Morium of Cassidy Morium's Wonder Emporium.
and this is just a worker at the Marizell place. He's like, thank you. And he like posts it on like the community board. That's okay.
He puts it into like, you can win a free lunch for your company.
Oh my god, 100%. You do see that the Marizell seems to have a very small quest board. You know that nothing that necessarily catches your eye. You do notice some of it's like missing cat, bullshit like that. But it's like, you do know there are some places that can afford to kind of like pay the fee to get sanctioned quests so that they're a little bit safer. Unsanctioned quests are sometimes illegal. And so to getting the ones that the guild is like, yes, costs a little bit of.
And what guild has jurisdiction?
In the
Obviously
Lubra,
me.
yeah. It just says John.
I'm sorry.
It's just,
I have to make a joke about guild.
I got to
whenever my name is
imagine it's
involved.
John, and then his face drawn in like a 1930s style, like tuna can, like cartoon. Like, it's just like stamped on the corner of every like guild paper in Lubra. John approved.
The guild.
It looks like the Fallout dude, but it's John with the beard and the hat, just like
Guild approved.
like red ink. Oh god, I'm just seeing John and like fucking guild. I'm so tired of this bullshit. Why did I get to get bored in fucking guild last name? Yo, what's the thing from Holes? You'll do it and you'll like it. Earlier was it?
What's too damn bad?
Yeah, that's too damn bad! I don't want to sand my face on these quests anymore. It's too damn bad. Grandpa Gil just like looks angrily out the window as like zombies like pound against the glass.
While we're in
Sighs
the
into
shop,
rainstorm. Sorry.
Talani wants to re-up my brewer supplies. Get some yeast.
They do have that here.
Get some
It would be a
barley,
separate
get some
shop,
wheat.
but they do have that in like
Yeah.
the but there's stuff here. You notice there's an odd number of people who seem to have time for hobbies here. They don't seem to be consumed with too much else. They fish, they have their trade with Bealich-Ar, and then they make enough to do what they fucking want.
Oh my gosh.
I go around collecting information on the Marizells, what they sell,
Jenny, there's a candle shop here.
what business they do.
Oh my
here.
gosh.
Go buy candles.
Yes!
It's
Is it
probably
a store just for candles?
Yeah, it's called
I spread
wax on,
rumors.
wax off.
I'm trying to think of what Bath and Body Works would be.
It's John's Wicks.
It's the logo of John's.
As John, and it's John running the store. And as he's there, the sheriff like opens the door and he's like, "Damn it, Gil! I told you to stop putting your stamp on all these papers when they come into town." He's like, "What you're talking about?"
That's all I think.
It's probably a long shot, but like any of the shops have any of that ore?
Orichalcum is really hard to come by. Right now, at least. You might be able to find it in Bealich-Ar, at least in a little bit. 10 pounds, you might have to special order, but right now you might have to get closer to the source. But you asked about the Marizells. Who asked about something else? You asked about something else? You wanted to look for something.
I wanted to re-up my
Oh,
brewer's
re-up
kit.
your brewer supplies. The Marizells seem to literally just be like... They sell, like, starter adventure supplies. Like, they're where people go. They're almost like a hardware store for adventurers. You know, they've got different ropes you can get. There's spider silk. They've
How are
got...
these people
Okay, so
racing
they're
at-
they're the folks in like 1880 San Francisco.
They must be selling drugs,
selling
is
shovels.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
like... They're like one of those people to where they kind of like hit the market at the right time and they found the right niche and managed to get enough money to where they can now be a competitor to other people.
Yeah.
But they're one of those like, as far as you've noticed, Sermia, it seems to be like people keep trying to find dirt on Marizell and they just.
I started spreading rumors. but they're selling drugs.
Fate is
I
them.
disguise myself as.
Oh my gosh. All right,
as
roll me a
citizen.
charisma.
I have
A
advantage.
persuasion? No, deception.
I have advantage on both. Net 20. that's a total of 37.
Mort doesn't know it was a rumor.
You manage to kind of
investigate
side-eye
this-
the places
I
you
need to
walk by.
investigate this
How
drug
did you
dealing.
find that out?
Yeah, Braddock finds out from someone else about the rumor.
So, night is approaching fast. You guys do find there is one inn on the island
I'm
called...
suspicious. I did an insight check to see how much it would be, and I'm like, it's close to 30, so I'm like, but with yours, it's like, okay, I should check this out. Doesn't seem on the up and up, but something to look into.
A lot of people seem to believe it.
A lot of people seem to believe it.
There is
Rumor spread fast.
one tavern and inn in town. It is called the Brewbrand Tavern.
But it's spread so fast.
Not too much.
Like an
It's 5
STD.
silver a room. 1 gold if you want bed and breakfast.
Ooh.
We'll put a gold down.
We always want bed and breakfast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every time.
Of course.
Um,
Of course. No, don't roll.
I ask the proprietor about the troubles that the town is facing.
I would have visited the sheriff.
Oh, we got trouble, my friend. Right here.
it's a big human guy, big old mutton chops, cleaning out a glass as you come up.
How filthy is the oh god. Oh, it's that kind of filthy rag.
He then puts it in the dishwasher.
He just did that for the love of the game. Yeah.
Oh, fancy duds to be walking around. Just, cold fury, mostly. Been a colorful bunch walking in here. What brings you all sightseeing on our modest little island?
Rather, we heard that the island is having some troubles.
We're here to do an illegal quest.
We were literally sent here by
We were
the
literally
guards,
sent
Serbia.
here.
It's not even
This is
legal.
how rumors get started.
It was John
I
killed
love a
the
good
We're
rumor.
not doing the illegal things.
The most sussy
Hi.
rumor I've heard is that
We hear you have some livestock
they're
missing.
selling drugs.
I did hear.
I've been hearing that too. I don't quite believe it, but a lot of people are saying it. I will
Please
say
do
that.
not listen to
No,
them.
it's real. I would know.
The peanut gallery is not part of this.
Now, I will say, up here, we've only had maybe 1 or 2 go. But with the mists, I think people are getting uppity because down south, in the other 2 islands, Red Branch and Flatbrow, there have been a little bit more
Are we out
reports.
of mist season?
You were supposed to be.
Oh, but the mists are still coming.
Uh-huh.
Fucking everybody up. The animals don't know what to do. But I think that's part of it. Is some of them might go wandering off. They don't know what time of year it is, and I think that might be it. I don't know, but reports from down south, it sounds like there's a lot more been going missing. I think people are just sort of getting caught up in the gossip up here.
While he's doing that, I'm going to use my knowledge ping to figure out within 60 feet who is the most knowledgeable about the missing livestock. Just to see if he's the most knowledgeable, if there's someone else in the area that we can get
He
more
is the
info.
only one who is the most knowledgeable in the bar at the moment.
Okay,
And he
so we're
says,
talking to the right person.
If you want, the guy that at least said he had the lab stock going, dwarf gentleman. Name is Huzdriak Flintbasher.
Godstreak Flintbasher?
Just call him Huz.
Huz. Huz.
I think he only gets called Huzdriak when he's in trouble, so you might get a better reaction if you call him Huz.
Okay.
But,
That's a lot easier for me, thank you.
Curious how he got the name, though.
well,
I
that's-
mean, his mother probably gave it to
Yeah,
him.
he was
that's what
born.
his parents named him.
Yeah.
No, I was just curious.
You have a problem with my name. You must hate my mom.
Cassidy audibly swallows. Is it hot in here for anybody else but me? Maybe it's just my armor. Name's fine.
Your curse is gone, but you're still the most awkward dude.
His curse might be gone, but he still has that foot and mouth disease.
That's the real curse. So
I'm still
you
working on
guys,
getting more sociable here.
For all intents and purposes, have a nice, easy evening.
Bed
Fall
and
asleep.
breakfast.
Bed and breakfast. Mort,
It's
Uh-oh.
BTB.
you
Bed, dinner, breakfast.
kind of open your eyes and you feel the mist swirling around you. You're sitting in something, and there's something in front of you. And as the mist clears, you see it is a very nice, ornate tea chair and table. Set, ready to go.
That's
Has
fucked
your pumpkin spice icing on it. And as the mist clears, it kind of pulls away lastly to a figure in the chair, and it is your buddy Azrael.
That's terrifying.
And he's already got the tea in his hand.
Don't worry, it wasn't a pact, so it's fine.
That's what someone else.
Kind of.
Yeah.
That's what someone who made a pact would say to themselves in a dream to the guy they made the pact with.
Don't
He
worry
goes,
about it, guys.
So you guys are off, jumping into adventure after a little bit of time off?
Something like that.
So, you were listening to what they were talking about earlier, right?
Yeah, I guess. Which let's narrow it down. We've had a lot of conversation.
They did a lot of conversation. You may have looked at a piece of paper where somebody's title may have been thrown around. Same title might have been used today.
Sure.
The less we talk about the prince, the less we kind of invoke that particular folk. As their herald, I am free to play a little bit more with the rules than normal.
Sure.
This friend of mine that I see has been recorded so well in the history books despite my best efforts. He's a man who I have safely put outside of the general grasp of time-space. That being said, he's a little grumpy and can be standoffish, but I would like to maybe send you his way.
Oh. Okay.
Don't worry, this has to do with the claws. I believe you'll see him under the name Dante. If you could, please, I would like you to establish connection with this gentleman, because I believe they still, at least as far as I checked last, have possession of this dagger that I gave them when we last saw each other. Well, when we last saw each other, dealing with my brother and bullshit.
Yeah.
He's dealing with other things. We'll talk about that some other time, but please, connect with him. And oh, I know we haven't really talked about this, but you can keep the shit that I gave you access to. Keep it all. Parker just saw Liz go upstairs. But you've got stuff to deal with now. Something. Oh, I want Liz to hear this. He looks to you and he goes, I can answer maybe one or two questions before you go, but my time is short. The prince is all aflutter after Sariel pulled her bullshit.
Right.
She's on her bullshit again, huh?
Miles!
Oh my
Thought
god.
that did it. What question should I ask?
Is Azrael Osmodeus?
It's what?
No.
No.
Herald
Different.
of Osmodius.
Azrael's a herald of
He's a
Osmodeus?
Okay.
Because how dare a woman be in his space?
He's actually, he's more comfortable around men than women.
Yeah.
Ever since the day we got him, and we weren't used to it. He hid behind me when we were at the store, and we were like, oh, okay. Okay, dude, that's weird, but okay.
A woman that smells like a staffy as well.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. So Azrael looks to you, Mort, and he goes, something to keep in mind. Funny thing about curses is They are much harder to break than they are to get twisted. And with that, he snaps his fingers, and you wake up, and you can smell bed and breakfast. You can smell the schnoss and shit in your nose.
Smell bed and breakfast. Man, this
You can smell bed and breakfast. It's, somebody died in one of these rooms.
Sermia eats all of the eggs.
There's all of them.
Yeah.
So they've got a decent
Damn it,
food
Serbia.
set for you
They put
guys.
a plate down, Serbia.
Cassidy.
Those were for everyone.
You know I'm cutting Sermia. God damn it!
Cassidy,
I gotta gain weight. I gotta gain 20
you
pounds.
wake up
You grab the full tray.
in
I eat them in like 10 minutes.
the middle of the woods, butt ass naked.
Wait, you wake up in the middle of the woods?
As you look around you,
Dream or
What?
Cassidy, butt ass naked.
good for
You
him.
look up.
Nothing new
Dead
to
deer
him.
right
smell-
next to
You
him.
smell bed and
like-
breakfast.
Your mouth feels almost like wet as you feel the wind blowing against it. And you can smell like iron. And as you touch, you see there's like not just blood on your mouth. There's blood all over your hands. And you can see next to you is the body of a deer with their throat like ripped out.
Oh no.
Cassidy, what did you do?
The curse has
Okay,
evolved.
so
Not
to
again.
find out whether this is like a dream or not, I can make my mystic armor automatically appear on me. Where in like distances, there's no minimum or maximum distance. I can just instantly make it appear on me. So
It comes onto your body.
Eclipse your foreskin.
Like-
You watched sophomore year of
okay,
Ch1.
so mystic armor pops on me.
Have you?
Like, okay, so
Sophomore
this
year.
is real. Okay, so
Galerians.
I take in,
Huh?
I take a look around to see if I can, like any identifiable landmarks, or better yet, I'm gonna use the knowledge ping of who is the most knowledgeable about where I am to see if there's anyone else around here besides me.
Just you, but you can see town is like
The deer
400 or
pings.
500.
And then it just
Hear
goes
the-
out
you can
because it
hear
dies.
town sounds of
knows
people
where you
waking
are.
up
We're in the woods.
off in that direction as the forest wakes up around you.
We're in my house.
Okay, is
You're
it
right. Yeah,
daytime,
where's
nighttime?
Cassidy?
What?
It's morning. You wake up as like you hear some birds chirping, kind of.
Okay.
It's cold morning dew. Like there's still
Is
like
it just a dead
Okay,
deer or is
I'm
it
going
eaten?
to
it's been
Yes.
eaten.
Like partially
yes.
eaten?
Yeah, partially eaten.
Okay, so I'm going to, I'm going to do, try to investigate the corpse of the deer to see what what happened to it of like
Roll
if
me
the
a
blood.
medicine or a nature.
Let's see, nature's better on that one.
Farmer with a pitchfork comes
plus
up. What you doing with that
17.
deer?
Nat 20.
Looking at it, it looks like an animal attack.
Why your
like
pants
this thing
off?
got like its throat got ripped out. There's like gash marks all across the body, and then it looks like it was feasted on.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
Are you hungry?
I'm going to use my my levitation boots so that I can start moving faster. I won't be actually flying, but I'll be like
You're like
pushing-
Shadow the Hedgehog.
pushing off of the trees. Yeah, kind of like that, so I can get
Just
back.
getting the hell out of
All
here.
right.
Well, as I'm heading towards the nearest town, is it the same?
Yep.
Can I tell that it was the same town that
Yep.
we were in?
Mhm.
So
you see the inn. You see the tavern. You can smell everybody. You can hear them. You can actually hear your friends like, oh wow, that's some good,
Where are you
had
at?
it.
Well, okay, so before I
I wonder
start,
where Cassidy is.
take more.
So before I start heading into town, can I try and do an investigation check to try and see if there's any evidence as to how I ended up here?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's
You
going.
took your pants off. Why you took your pants
I was
off?
wondering where my dwarven fire
That
is.
is going to be.
balls and ran in the woods.
That's going to be a 28 on the investigation.
You're looking around. You, as you're kind of gathering, you can see your window. It's open.
And the walls and the sweat that
My
dripped down
window?
Your
What?
window in your hotel room is open.
Well, I was talking about doing an investigation in the wooded area where I was before I started heading out.
You just see, you see that the body of the deer was dragged here from off in the woods.
Okay. So, yeah, I rush back. I burst into the room and I'm like, guys, we got a problem.
That's
Yeah, you're naked.
I already
he
put
put his
my-
arm around.
my arm
That was
around.
so funny if he was dongle out though. When he opened the door. He's like, "Oh God,
Guys, we have a
doesn't even
problem.
think about
Yeah,
it.
decent exposure. There's
He
a
opens it,
fine.
guys,
for
we got a
that.
problem."
He has.
Oh God, what
One
happened
of
to
the
your
ladies is
foreskin?
like, "I don't see a problem." Like just the
Yeah,
man of this place.
Miss Millie's there. It looks fine
Yeah,
to
let's
me.
find a city problem.
Bring me another Bloody Mary.
He has parts of his armor on. For some reason, that's just
You
the
forgot to
only
put the bottom half. You just saw it off. That's so funny.
I'm just going full on Frankie right
Yeah,
now.
you're just running around, not even thinking about it. Just like, oh God, okay, the armor's here. Let's go.
He's got the
Funny.
He's
Oh
got
my
the Daffy
God.
Duck armor. all up.
The
No,
camera has
rocking the
shown
Winnie
nothing
the
below
Pooh.
the waist until that moment. And it pans down and we just see butt cheek.
Guys, there's a problem. All of us.
Throws
And then the camera pans.
Someone's like from the view. Someone's holding like a sausage on a fork that you can see between his legs.
Yes, exactly.
He's running through town. People are passing stuff in front of the camera.
Cassidy and the
Stormy is
Center Box will be
holding
the name
2
of this
eggs
episode.
in his fourth perspective in front of him.
All right, and that's the end of chapter 1 of Bad Moon on the Rise. Everybody.
It's been a while since we had some good dick jokes.
Yeah, it really has. So
been a
we'll
while
pick up
since
literally
Cassidy's
at that
ripped up naked in the
exact moment with Cassidy going, guys, we got a problem. Top up, Donald
Blood
ducking,
all over.
blood all over.
Been a while since someone's lost their foreskin.
Yeah, it's been a while since we had some good foreskin jokes.
That's what I thought.
Good night, everybody.
Oh,